Hello. So one of the questions we received is what new considerations inform assessment rubrics for remote language learning? I think the first thing I want to just clarify is that in this context we're interpreting rubrics to mean assessment criteria, rating scales, evaluation frameworks for how we actually evaluate the communicative performance of our students. What new considerations might inform a remote learning context? Well, I'm not sure that there are new considerations, and that I think we just need to always go back to the fundamental questions, which is what kind of communication are we engaging in? Why are we engaging in that kind of communication? How is it relevant to the learning goals of our students, to the target language use domain, to the kind of communicative context we expect them to engage with outside of the classroom, outside of the assessment? And then what kind of features will actually define effective communication? Can we distill those features down into clear criterial descriptions which we can then use for our evaluation criteria? One thing that might be new is the requirement to engage the learner more actively in that evaluation process, simply because we aren't able to be there ourselves in a remote language learning context. So do we need to engage more with self-assessment? Do we need to support the learners in how to understand the criteria and provide that data and that feedback themselves? Do we need to help provide more criterial examples of what good communication is in that particular context? What is a good piece of speaking or writing for the particular goals we're working on? And how can students evaluate their performance against those good examples? How can they identify weaknesses and strengths? How can they identify things that they might need to do to help engage with the learning goals? So there may indeed be a greater role for self-assessment, but once again, I don't think that's a new consideration. We just need to engage with the tools around and available for self-assessment to actually bring in those perspectives from the students in that remote learning context.